Hi everybody, Garrett Pearson here and welcome to day 15, and we're going to learn today about how to hire a programmer. Welcome everybody that's new to watching these software secrets videos. Each day during the week I do a Facebook live video here on Facebook on the Software Secrets Facebook page. I said Facebook a lot right there, sorry about that. Each day I go through our steps and tips to help you build your software, build your app, build your application, whatever it is that you want to build. We are the Software Secrets team to teach you how to do it. So, for all of you that have been watching these videos over the last 14 days, thank you so much for watching. What you're going to want to do to not miss these other videos that I've been doing is like this Software Secrets Facebook page or go to blog.softwaresecrets.com. Okay, we'll make this quick and fast today. How to hire a programmer. This is essential to the success of your software product, okay, or your app, whatever it is that you're building. It is so important that you have a programmer. Some people call them developers, whatever it is that some people call them software engineers. It really doesn't matter. We call them programmers or developers here at the Software Secrets team. So when you get to this point, there's two types of programmers that you're going to hire. And because we went through the steps, if you've been following, we've been going through the 12-step process of building your software. And we are on step 10 today, which is hire programmers. Yesterday we talked about designing pages, and that goes along with you were wireframed out and mocked up and got your designer to design all the user pages that the user needs access to use your software or app. Okay, so hiring programmers is the next step. So the first programmer that you need to hire right now is somebody that can turn those designed pages, usually, and if you hired your designer, you want them to design those pages in Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. So they're going to send you PSD files. Those are Photoshop files that then you send to a developer that is an HTML and CSS developer. Usually this type of developer is different than a developer that's going to develop in PHP or Ruby or Go or whatever language that is going to turn the pages into functionality and make them functional. Okay, so this is a very different developer, so you got to be careful that you get the right type of person. So what you're going to do is you're going to first hire a HTML CSS developer that can turn your HTML and CSS or turn your designed pages into HTML, which HTML, all that means is that's what makes a website a website. Okay, that's all the code that turns your design into an actual usable website on the web. So what you're also going to want to do, and if you decide to do this, you're going to want to make your each page responsive. What responsive means is mobile friendly, or when it shrinks down to an iPad or an iPhone, that it's very user friendly on those, so that the word is responsive. So you're going to want to find a programmer or developer, I've used those interchangeably, a developer that's going to be able to do HTML and CSS and make that HTML and CSS responsive as well. Okay, so that's the first programmer. Now the next programmer that you're going to hire, or programmers, we like to start our projects off with two programmers. So actually three. The HTML and CSS guy, but he'll only be on your team for a little while, so you don't need to hire him on full time. He's just going to come on and turn those pages into HTML and CSS. Now you're going to hire two other programmers, which are your main programmers. And what we like to do is hire a senior programmer and a junior programmer, and it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes we get two seniors. For example, for software funnels, we got two senior programmers. But a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get a senior programmer and a junior programmer. But if that's depending on the budget that you have, it's going to cost you more, obviously. These are two individuals that you're going to bring onto your team full time. And this isn't just a project, but how you're going to hire them and find them is you're going to give them a project. And it's exactly like, and this is the how-to part, it's exactly like when you hired your designer. You're going to go to Upwork, for example, upwork.com, and I'll give you a couple other ones. Actually, I'll do that right now. So Some other ones that people like are outsource.com or freelance.com or freelancer.com. Those are some other ones that are like Upwork. We've found that Upwork is the best. It used to be elance.com and odesk.com, which they merged and created Upwork, and it was just the best of both worlds. And you'll find that's where most people are, is on Upwork. So another place that you can go that we found that we're gonna be offering a partnership with is Udacity Blitz. So it's at blitz.com, blitz.com, so blitz.com. This is very high-end programmers. So if you're going the very high-end route, this is where you would want to go. And it's not that we can't find high-end on Upwork, you can. And the programmers that we have, that we use, they're overseas, but they are high-end, and we love working with them, and we can get a really good price to work with these teams overseas. So when we do launch Software Secrets, Software Funnels, you're gonna get access. If you join, you're gonna get access to these teams that we use, so that you can go and hire developers on their teams. So the process is, you go to, for example, Upwork.com, you give them a small project, okay? Now this project can just be very, very simple, but what you're trying to do, or it can be a little bit difficult. So in the Software Secrets program, we're gonna have examples of projects that you can give them to do. But what you could do is just go to Google or something and start searching around and find just a simple project. It could be as simple as, hey, turn, for the HTML, CSS guy, turn this into HTML and CSS. Generally, you can find that person right away, but the actual programmers you're going to want to hire, you're going to want to go and find 3 to 6, like we taught in the design, the hiring a designer, 3 to 6. So you're going to post the job on Upwork, give them a small project, and then you're going to have them, 3 to 6 people bid. You pick the 3 to 6 people that bid on pricing wise. You're going to look anywhere from $10 an hour to $30 an hour is the range. We go in the middle, about $15 to $20 an hour that you're going to look for, and you can get developers as low as $5 an hour, but again, you're going to get that kind of results. We pay well our overseas programmers. Programmers here in the States could cost anywhere from $100,000 in the 6 figures. So we like to find overseas guys that are really, really good, that we can get at a good price, but we still pay them really well. So you're going to post this project, you're going to have them do the project and see if they followed your instructions. That's the key here. So like I said, the project that you post, the job that you post, and the small project that you're going to have them do, really what you're looking for is to see how fast they do it, and are they following the instructions, and the project that you gave them, does it work? Okay, does it work? And that's what you're looking for. So I know I'm going to get a lot of questions of, well, what project should I post on my job to find these 3 to 6 people to do it? And I didn't come up with one, but I'm thinking through my head right now, and one that you could do is, in our training, we suggest that you use Stripe, that's stripe.com, for your merchant account. So my suggestion would be to get, maybe this project would be to go get a Stripe account, because you're going to need to get one anyway, and have them install Stripe on somewhere, like just on maybe even on their server, and create a way for the Stripe account to work to charge somebody, give them 3 packages. Again, you're just giving them instructions. So the instructions would be, okay, create a page that this person can choose from 3 packages, $10, $3, or $10, $20, and $30 packages, and set that up in Stripe, and give them all the fields that they need to check out, and just create a simple checkout page for me, integrated into the API of Stripe. Okay, and again, you don't have to know all the lingo. Just give them instructions of what you want them to do and see if they can go and do it. And this one you might leave a little vague to see if they'll go beyond and figure it out. When you do hire them on, obviously you're going to give them a lot more instructions and exactly what you want. But maybe leave this a little vague and say, okay, create a checkout page, $10, $20, and $30 products. Create those in Stripe and create a checkout page that somebody could, a drop down where somebody could choose which product they wanted of the 10, 30, and 20, and that they could check out and that it would all go through. And in Stripe there is a testing mode so that you can use testing credit cards and everything. So that's, I just know I'm going to get asked the question of, well, what kind of project, and that would be a great project. See how fast they do it, see how well they follow the instructions, and see how well you like working with them. And again, this page that they're going to create for you isn't going to look pretty because you didn't design anything out for them. So just let them create the page, and it doesn't have to look pretty, it just needs to be functional. That's the key with hiring these programmers. So now what you're going to do is, and maybe you don't need 6, maybe on programmers you just go to the lower level with 3. So now you're going to decide of those 3 programmers, which ones did I really like working with, and how well did they communicate, how fast did they get it done, and do I like working with them. And then you can pick the top 2 guys that you like working with, or if you don't have the budget for 2 people, the best guy that you want to work with. Then what I would do is I would give them another project or have them start, but don't, at this point, don't tell them that you're gonna hire them on full time yet. Give them another project just to be sure. So that project could actually be setting up some database or whatever. So again, all of these, we will have these exact projects that we would suggest in the Software Secrets program. The bottom line is you need to get going and finding a good programmer, and having a good programmer on your team for the long run is going to be essential. So this is a very, very important step. But in the meantime, while you're working with trying to get your programming team hired, get the HTML and CSS responsive programmer working on the design pages that your designer is getting back to you, so you can have all these pages ready for the developer to get going on the programming. So I know this one, what I might do is I might do day 16 tomorrow and go into a little bit more detail of the programmers and why, because it's so essential. And we've got 2 more steps after this, which is the HTML and CSS development and the hosting and servers, step 12. Now I'm doing these videos until we launch Software Secrets and Software Funnels, so I'm going to be talking a lot about programmers and any questions you guys have. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. And that will help me understand what you're not understanding from hiring a programmer point of view. But it's key that you get the right people on board. That is, in any business, getting the right people on board is the key. So this is very important, so don't take this lightly. And I'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, because step 11 is HTML and CSS development. And so I'll go into a little bit more of that and talk a little bit more about programmers. Again, Upwork.com, Blitz.com, those are 2 that you should look into. Again, the Blitz.com is going to be higher end, more expensive, I guess is what I'm saying. Upwork.com, more than likely you might find some people in your country, but more than likely they'll be overseas, and that's fine. We have in-house programmers that have developed our software in the States. We have a team of 15 programmers, maybe it's 14 programmers over in Pakistan that are awesome. We've had programmers in India. We have programmers for some of our software right now that's there in the Philippines. There is nothing wrong with finding people overseas to get your work done, and they are just as good as programmers over here. And even though somebody here in the States might not agree, it's just the truth. And so There's nothing wrong with finding programmers overseas, so just keep that in mind. So that's enough. I went on and on today. Go hire your programmer, use those steps I gave you, give them tasks to do before you bring them on full time. Thank you so much for watching, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow.